That is a mini platypus. It's going to be a fun little build, this little platypus lure. He's going to be around, where is he? Be around 5.5 centimeters. So he's only small. I'm just going to keep it small. It's the bass in the rivers here. Unlike the bass over in America, they don't really eat huge prey. They usually eat small cicadas and bugs and small fish. But they do eat bigger stuff, but you tend to catch more fish on smaller lures. It's going to be a surface lure, just one piece. And yeah, I'm kind of just going to work out the kinks as I go along and try work it out. So I got it stuck down to a piece of 20 by 40 pine. The reason I'm using pine is just it's nice and buoyant. It's only a small lure, so I won't have as much buoyancy as possible. It's nice and light too, so I'll be able to cast pretty well, and yeah, easy to work with, and mainly just the buoyancy. Don't want to make it and then just have it sink on me, so just got him glued on, and I'll go cut him out with the bandsaw and get shaping. Bit of a rough cutout. My bandsaw's not the greatest. The blade's pretty warped and old and flimsy, so I'll finish shaping him up on the belt sander. So I'm just going to mark out the centre lines, figure out what shape I want here, and the side. It's probably going to drop the head down to his bill, and then curve around to his belly, and up into his tail again, and then curve it down to his tail from the back. Mark these lines and cut it out in the bandsaw and shape it again. So I think how I'm going to do it is just bring his head down into the bill gradually, just like that. Just what, if you look at a platypus in real life, that's what their head does. Dips down, their bill sits right on it, and their body kind of fattens out behind it, just like that. And then I'll bring his tail down gradually, just like that to the back. And then I'll bring this up like this. That's going to be roughly the side profile. It always changes a bit as I move along. The belly's probably a bit too fat. And that'll be his bill there, just like that. His eyes. Kind of like that, roughly. Come down to his tail, legs here, and his bill at the front. So I'm just going to start carving some chamfers and some shape into this lure. Not going to use any guidelines or anything, just going to eyeball it and flatten out the bill and round it over, and the tail too, and put a bit more shape in the body just to define it a bit more. And yeah, this action of this lure is just going to be a top water. It's going to sit flat, nothing too fancy about it, and hopefully it'll just get a nice little action like this. No weight. The front center weight will just be from the hook hanger and the hook with the split ring hanging off, and off the tail too, so it won't be huge in action, I don't think. But with bass anyway, most of the time you only need little twitches and you just let it pause and they'll just come up and buff it, so I think it should work out fine. Just give him a bit of a sand, shape him up, and then I'll do a couple of real simple carvings to define the bill. So platypus are a super unique animal. They're only found on the southeast coast of Australia, or southeast side of Australia I should say, from Tasmania up through Victoria and New South Wales. You know, it's pretty much, they just look like a duck crossed with a beaver, essentially. They're a super unique animal, they're really beautiful. Found in all the local waterways, the healthy ones anyway. Unfortunately they are a bit under threat due to drought and habitat loss, and land clearing for agriculture and residential expansion, I guess, which is kind of sad, but they are a beautiful creature, super unique. They're a monotreme, so what that means is they're a mammal, but they don't actually rear how do I say it? They don't really give birth to live animals. They actually lay eggs like a reptile, so they're a mammal that lays eggs, so it's super unique. And yeah, a beautiful Australian animal that deserves to be preserved, and its habitat deserves to be protected. Luckily enough, from one of the local rivers here, a couple of freshwater rivers here, there's quite a few. Very timid, shy animal. You usually see them only early morning, usually, or late afternoon rather than dusk. They'll come out. And yeah, they're a carnivore too, so they'll eat shellfish, worms, and any sort of insect larvae in the water. The males actually have a sprue on the back of their legs, or a spike, and it's toxic and can actually kill a dog, so you gotta watch out if you ever come across an injured one when you pick it up, because they can spike you. So this is shaping up pretty well. I'll just do a bit more sanding and mark out the bill and the tail and get some defining features in it. So there it is, I'll sand it up. Very simple. But I'm going to go mark out some defining features and carve some details in. So there's the defined bill. Just simple little carvings, just gives it that little bit of definition. So the platypus, the eye is just behind here. So I'll dot those eyes on once I'm painting. But yeah, I think that looks quite nice. There's the top there. It just presses up into the top of its head like on a real one. Alright, I'll get the holes pre-drilled for the hardware, and I'm not going to put any lead into this bait just because it's so small. I don't want it to sink, and it doesn't need it. It doesn't have a flexion point or anything like you do in a diving lure, and the hardware centered underneath. The hook hangers and the hooks will hold it nice and flat in the water column. So I'm just going to make some hook hangers. This simple 1mm tie wire. It's only a small bait, so I don't want the hook hangers to be heavy. I want it to be nice and light. Tighten them up just like that. And there you go. Hook hangers are in. Nice and small and light, which shouldn't affect the buoyancy too much, so she'll still float after a top coat. Alright, I'm going to seal the wood now. A bit more sanding, sealing, and then it's time to paint. So to seal this bait, I'm just going to use some thin super glue. Just cover the body and then use a rag to rub it in. Penetrates the wood really nice and gives it a nice hard coat. And allows me to sand it quite smooth as well. Just make sure when you're using this stuff that you have good ventilation. I've got all the windows open with a cross breeze coming through because it's pretty brutal and it's not good for you to get up your nose and into your brain, I guess. So yeah, I'm just going to put it on and rub it in, and after that give it a sand and it should be ready to paint. There you go, all sealed. Now I've just realised I forgot to put the legs in. Or to drill holes for the legs, I should say. So what I was thinking for the legs was to use some of this. Some of these rubber skirts from spinnerbaits. I'll probably use this guy here. This brown skirt with a red flash. And what I'll do is I'll cut 5 strands, so that, and I'll drill a little hole into the bait and then glue them in. So then he's got something representing his flippers, well, his web feet I should say. So I'll do that, I'll mark some holes and drill them in, and get those prepared to glue in after the paint job's been done. There you go. There we've got our little leg holes for the skirts. Time to paint. So I got the little fella here. Just going natural colour scheme. Dark browns and sands. Put a bit of satin gold on. Give him a little bit of flair. Black for the bill, for the tip of the tail. And just a nice white base to put everything on. Sand. And yeah. Try and make it as natural as possible and try to get some texture in the back to represent his coat, his fur coat. So give it a crack, get started. there we have it, just a simple colour shift into the lighter belly. I know I was saying it's going to try to get some texture on the top for his little coat, but it's so small it's just going to be fiddly, and I really don't want to stuff it up, so I think I'll just keep it the way it is. I'm going to go over now just with a light spray with some satin gold, just to give it a little bit of flash and a little bit of, just make it a bit prettier, I guess. And then I'm going to go over with a brush and paint in his bill, and I'll do the little black dash in the back on his tail, and then I'll dab the eyes on. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to put just on the bill here, just above the bill, around where his eyes are. I'm just going to spray a little bit, I'm not sure what colour, maybe a bit of satin gold, or maybe some gold mixed with some sand, just to give a little bit of lightness around the bill, because some of them have that, and then also highlight his eyes a bit better, because I'm just going to dot his eyes on, because they've only got small little eyes. So I'll just get onto that, and then should be able to clear coat it today, and then get working on the legs after that. So there's the little highlights around the top of the bill and around his eyes. Very subtle, just a bit of sand mixed with a small amount of satin gold. Yeah, I'll give him a quick spray of satin gold, get some shine, and then it's on to painting the bill in black. So to clear coat this little platypus, I'm just going to use some 5-minute epoxy, some araldite. It works fine for these small lures. I don't use it on anything that's like a significant lure, like a big build. But yeah, it does the job, and you just got to be careful, because it does add quite a bit of weight to the lure, so you have to keep in mind, just because it goes on quite thick, just keep in mind how much weight you're putting into the body of the lure when you're making it. And so I'll just give it one coat of this, and it's set up nice and quick, and then I will move on to the legs after that. So there you go. Got the clear coat on. Now I'll just rotate him in my hand for a couple minutes, just so it sets and dries all nice and even. So now that the epoxy's set up, I'm going to start making some of his little web feet out of these rubber skirts here for spinner baits. But decided to go with black. It's got a little bit of red fleck in there, just because their feet are quite a bit darker than brown, which I was going to go with in the first place. So I think I'm just going to cut a couple pieces up, and then I'll sit them in here, and then I'll just glue them in place, and should be just a simple representation of his feet. Just like that, see? So it's just going to be simple, but it'll do the trick. There you have it. Complete little platypus lure with his little legs. I'm actually really stoked with how they turned out. Now the only thing left is to put some hardware on and go see if this little fella get eaten by a bass off the surface. Yeah, I'm absolutely stoked with how that looks. Couldn't be happier. And there it is. Little platypus lure, all ready to fish. So I'm stoked with how that lure's turned out. And I'm looking forward to getting him in the water first thing in the morning. It's going to be a nice hot day, so hopefully the bass are going to be active real early, and hopefully I can get a fish for everyone. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty keen to get out there.
Let's get this guy in the water, see how he goes. He floats. Doesn't have a whole lot of action, but I knew that when I was building it. I'm just gonna kind of chuck him at cast and just twitch him just like this. He sits nice and flat, which is good. Yeah, I reckon we're gonna get a fish hopefully. Yes. Yes. Fish on the platypus. Yeah. He smashed it too. Not a big fish. Yeah, just a little fella. Look at that. On the platypus. There you go. A platypus eating bass. Stoked on that. I'm bloody stoked on that. Straight away he just came and smashed it. It has a really nice action, like I just twitch it up with my rod tip up and it just kind of pulses through the water just like it is a swimming platypus. And it just, yeah, perfect size, and he just came and crunched it. I'm going to keep moving up, try to find a couple more for you. That was awesome and stoked. Yeah, got one. Oh, he's got me in the stick. Oh, he's out. Oh, lost him. Bugger, put me in the weed and he got off. Damn. Oh, it's dead, it's dead. Yeah, it's dead. Just as I can't knock it away. Look at that. I am absolutely stoked. On the platypus. Big bluff, big blow up. Super happy. They're really liking this lure. It has such enticing action. It's a perfect size, and it's a realistic thing. You know, these fish probably would eat baby platypus. So I'm stoked. Let's get this fella back in the water. Oh, I got one. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, straight to the sticks. Where is he? Oh, he's gone. Oh, this drag always. I'm not a huge fan of Daiwa reels. I don't like their drag settings. I find Shimano's would be much better for the way I like to fish. But that was sick. Another hit. Knew there had to be one in here. See if I can actually land one this time. There we go. Another one. Straight into the weeds again. Oh, I got this one out. There we go. They're pretty fired up today. The temperature's going to be quite warm, so nice, another bass. Stoked on this. This is such a good morning. Oh, he's got some fly. There we go, another bass on the platypus. Australian bass. Oh, another one. Oh, yep, got him. Oh, he's in the weed. Oh, he feels like a nice fish. Oh, he's got me buried. Oh, there he is. Another nice fish. That's my net. There we go. Another Aussie bass. Oh, come here, buddy. I gotta let you go. Come here, buddy. What? There we go, another one, just a little tacker. See you, buddy. Oh, that's a nice fish. I didn't even see him eat it, he just sucked it down. Just sipped it. Very nice fish. Get out of the weeds, mate. Oh, he's not as big as I thought, but just the way he took it. Usually the bigger ones just sip it down like that. Ah, he's a good fish still. Oh, another cracker. This is the best bass session I've had in such a long time. Unbelievable. Look at these fish. You're up, buddy. Look at them. They're just smashing this platypus. He just sipped it down, didn't do a big bluff, just went. Alright, buddy, I'll get you back. There's this beautiful fish. Absolutely love him. Oh, yep, another one. Oh, that was such a subtle take. And on the chew, this is great fun. another small bass. Beautiful little fish they are. Oh, careful buddy. Careful buddy. There we go. Another beautiful little fish. Another one. They are on the tube. I didn't have to do anything there, I just... Oh, he's got me wrapped around the log. Come on, bud. Out you come. There he is. He's a bit better too. Oh, he's a nice fish. Very nice fish. Beautiful fish, wow. Oh, he's got a stick too. Beautiful fish. He's a better one. He's probably the best one so far today. Oh, look at the colours on him. Oh, that is an absolute cracking fish. Oh, no way. What a far out. What an epic fish. What an epic fish. Oh, settle buddy. Check this thing out. This is a beautiful Australian bass. This is probably my PB maybe. Let me clean that screen for you. Absolutely beautiful. Oh. Look at that. What a whopping fish. That is a beautiful fish. I got him on the platypus. They're just absolutely loving this lure. They're on the tube today. I think because the temperature's up today, it's just turned them on, and oh, that is just epic. I'm so stoked with that. What a beautiful fish. Look at him. Look at those colours. Alright, I'll get this guy back. Beautiful fish. So the session's done. That was so much fun. Can't believe I was just going to walk straight past this pool and go straight to the car. I'm not sure how many bass I landed. 4, 5? I hooked quite a few, and that big one was probably my personal best. It was well into the 40 centimetre range and just beautiful fish. I mean, check out the platypus. Look how beat up he is. Wait a second, let me focus. Look at that. He has been beaten up. Clear coat's peeling off, paint's peeling off. But yeah, still floats, still catches fish. I think I'll go home and hang him on the wall, and yeah, that was a great memory. Great memories on that lure now. It's so satisfying catching fish on something that goes from an idea in your head into something you create and make with your hands, and then to have a fish eat it is just a great feeling, and I'm very stoked on that. And I'm very lucky that I got such a good morning out here with the bass were really actively feeding. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to make, and I really enjoyed it, and it was something I've always enjoyed doing, so I decided to start making videos. And there should be a couple more coming. I've got plenty of ideas in my brain, so I'll try to pump them out and keep some videos coming and hopefully catch some more fish. So thank you for watching, and if you like this video, make sure to let me know, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.